this thing started. All right. Hello, hello. Let's make sure everything is working here. I have everything okay on my end. Getting things started. All right, let's get this party started. So this is Adobe XD Weekly. Hey guys, good morning, good evening, good afternoon, wherever you are in the world. Here we are. My name is Demian Borba. I'm here to talk to you. As you know, we do this every Monday at 11 a.m. Pacific. And let me know where you're tuning in from, and I'll be checking here on your comments. So let's see here. Nate is asking if this stream is also on Facebook. Yes, we're doing it both on Facebook and YouTube. And today we're going to talk about two new features in XD, recent features, overlays and fixed elements. And before I get there, let's just make sure you guys are here. Hey, one guy from India, California. Hey, Charles, Nate, France. Oh my God, France, awesome. Yeah, you guys are doing well in the World Cup, so good luck there. I'm originally from Brazil and we're out. So that's bad. We're out of that. All right. Let me go live here also on Facebook. Perfect, perfect. So we are live both on Facebook and YouTube, and today, as I mentioned, we're going to talk about overlays and fixed elements. And please let me know where you're tuning in from. I saw people from India, France, lots of great things here, lots of great people, as always. People from Brazil. Hey Brazil. I was telling on YouTube that here that I saw a hi from France, and France is doing really well. I'm from Brazil originally, and Brazil is out of the World Cup, so that's sad. But we did well. Another guy from Oliver from Canada. Hey Oliver, great to see you. Scott, nice to see you again. Hey Ben. Paula, my wife, watching as well. Awesome. Palestine. Oh my God, Kosovo. Like lots of different places. This is so cool. So nice to see people coming from all over the place. Again, good morning, good evening, good afternoon, wherever you're tuning in from. It's great to see so many nice people here. To get things started, let me introduce myself. So my name is Demian Borba. I work on XD since the very beginning, since 2015. I was one of the first product managers working on XD. And now my role really involves working with you guys, the community, and also key customers. So I go to customers to embed myself in their product and design teams and really understand how they design the apps, the websites, and I need to bring all that feedback back to the product team. So that's really cool, and being exposed to so many different cultures is really cool. And one thing that I really like is talking to you guys here on the live stream. So every Monday, no matter what, we're live at 11 a.m. Pacific time. And all right, it's good to see that. I'll be watching for comments here. I'll be watching for comments there. And yeah, so the first thing I'd like to start, now that I saw so many amazing people coming from all over the world, this is so nice to see. I'd like to talk about one thing that will be happening soon. Let me switch to my other screen here, and let's make sure it's there. Perfect. So on September 25th, we're gonna help make this happen. So there's this day called World Interaction Design Day. So chapters, IXDA chapters all over the world are invited to participate. If you're interested, you can go to interactiondesignday.org to know more about this. And here you find information about it, how you can get involved. You can even add your email here to get updates. So it's Adobe and IXDA all over the world hosting these events, and you can host your own. It's really easy. You just sign up, you do an event to talk about how diversity, how the human aspect of design can help people, and you can talk about, you can do presentations, you can do workshops, you can do design showcases, whatever you want there. And we have a bunch of very talented people here that will be there helping in different places. So there's an FAQ here for you to read. Super easy. You can host one, you can attend one, and September 25th. Don't forget that. And that's going to be amazing. And the theme is diversity and inclusion in design. So there's a lot to talk about around that topic, and yeah, it's going to be awesome. And another thing I'd like to mention here is I'm here every Monday with Lindsay, and if you have feedback on XD, if you have questions on XD, if you find bugs on XD, you can always go to adobexd.uservoice.com, as you can see here, and here you can see all the feature requests, and they're organized by the top ones. You can suggest your own. You can add comments to existing ones. You can vote on existing ones here, and then you can subscribe to that feature, meaning that anytime a product manager changes it, let's say from feature in the backlog, like in this case for micro interactions, to feature started, you get an email saying, oh, that feature started. Sometimes we ask, feature needs more information, and then you can get that notification. You can add your comments here, how you want that feature to work, and this is really fueling the decisions that we're making on XD. And then the best one is when a feature changes from feature started to feature completed, you can start using it right away. We had fixed elements here as the top one as of last month, and he had over 5,000 votes. So anyone who voted for it was subscribed, and when we changed it from feature started to feature completed, everyone was able to see it, and that was really good. Like we got over 800 comments just on that feature. That was really awesome. All right, and again, you can vote, you can suggest features, and you can see some are already there. Micro interactions is the top one there, and we are already doing a lot of work there, so stay tuned for that. And maybe the most important thing for this stream is that I'm here for you guys. So any questions about roadmap, about features, feature requests, how to do this or that, I'm really here to answer your questions. So every Monday, 11 a.m. Pacific time, it's me and Lindsay. Today's just myself, but Lindsay will be back next week. And yeah, we're here for you. So before I start, let me check if I have any questions coming. Hey Jay, Oliver there. Let's see here. Still getting highs from other places. Nice. The Vishnav is talking. He's saying that I hope XD files can be opened in Illustrator and Photoshop in the future, and that's a great point of discussion. We see, to be very honest, XD will never replace Photoshop for bitmap editing, and XD will never replace Illustrator for very complex vector artwork creation. That's not the goal. The goal is to have XD as a hub for UX design. So anytime you need to come up with a design for an app, website, anything that has a screen design, and then you need to quickly prototype it and share to get feedback, to validate and iterate, going through this iterative design process. Anytime you need that, XD is there for you. So you can design, you can prototype, and you can share very quickly, and then iterate. That's why XD is there. But you will never replace those tools. And you can bring content from Photoshop, you can bring content from Illustrator. via Creative Cloud libraries if you want. I can show you that right now. So in Illustrator, you can go to you can start Illustrator, start Photoshop, and there you can create Creative Cloud elements, library elements. And then here in XD, you can go to File, Open CC Libraries, and they show up here. So those things that you created in Photoshop or Illustrator show up here, like colors, character styles, graphics like bitmaps, and then also vectors from Illustrator. And then the cool thing is, if you have, let's say I will create, let's say I'm gonna play with this guy here, this car, and I'll go to this area of my design. I can quickly drag it. It's a big image. I'll resize this. So I can drag that, and one thing you notice, this is linked, meaning that if I go back here and I right click and say edit, this will launch Photoshop and will open that image for you to edit. And then I can, for example, change the saturation here and save. And as soon as I save, let me save this. Okay, as soon as I save and go back to XD, that change was reflected there. So that's one way of bringing content from let's say Photoshop into XD and keeping it linked. And it also works with vectors coming from Illustrator. But if you really have content in Photoshop, let's say for ears, because you have all of your elements there and you want to start bringing that design and create prototypes out of that, you can go to File, Open, and you can pick any Photoshop document, not only Photoshop documents but also Sketch documents, and then you can select that PSD. In this case, I have this one that's 85 megabytes, the Google Material Design UI Kit. XD will do its magic here to convert everything that's coming there from Photoshop into XD elements, and the things that it doesn't understand, like blend modes, things that XD doesn't support yet, it will create a rendition of that, so you not lose the work. And every month there are improvements to the Photoshop and Sketch importer, and you can expect these things coming. So this is that same Photoshop file here in XD. And the cool thing is, if I save this, let me save this. I already have that document there, so I'll save on top of it, replace. And I just want to show you one thing. I saved this. Let me open Finder here, and remember that Photoshop file was 85 megabytes. When I saved it in XD, it became 1.5 megabytes. So again, super smart to help you get there. Right, so that's very important. You can open Sketch and Photoshop files in XD and start prototyping right away. All right, let's see if I have more questions before I get to the core of this presentation. Okay, we have questions on overlays here. We're gonna answer that in a second. Let's see if we have more questions here. Any chance for the release of internal links and scrolling features so we can prototype single page layout? Any chance for the release of internal links? Oh, I see what you're saying, like links that from the prototype opens a website or something. We have that in the backlog. It's there in user voice. Please find it and vote for it. This is gonna help us a lot. Awesome. All right, so back here, let's now talk about the core of this presentation, which is overlays and fixed elements. So as you remember, last month we released a bunch of new features. XD ships every month, and last month we released two of amazing features. One is overlays and the other one is fixed elements. So I thought about coming up with real scenarios where you could see that in action and understand how to use it, and maybe learn about some tricks and tips on little things here and there. And as you can see here, in the past, before the June release of XD9, if you wanted, for example, to create this scenario where I have this design and I wanna, whenever my user taps on this button, I wanna show this nav that comes from the top, I would have to do it this way. I would jump to prototype mode, then I would have to go here and change this, let's say, to a dissolve. And then if I play, it was faking it, right? I would have to create the same artboard with that overlay on top, and if I need another area activating this, I'd have to create another artboard for that. So what we did, the core of the overlay feature is that now you can have your original artboard there, and you can have another artboard containing your overlay. And the way things work here, it's the same process. You click there, so my user taps here, he goes to this, but instead of being a regular transition, you'll be an overlay. That's it. Now I get this decoration, this green decoration showing me where this overlay will show up. And if I click right on that cross, it gives me a preview, and then I can pull it down. Actually, this is up, right? It's just gonna come from the top, and this will be a slide down. So as soon as I do that and I play, look what happens. That overlay comes from the top, and if I click outside, it dismisses it. So really, really useful, and I don't have to have fake states anymore here. I can really have one artboard acting as my overlay. And I have more examples here. So again, let's say I wanted to show a keyboard, right? Another example. In the past, I would have to, okay, whenever I tap on the search item, I want to show this. This is the old way of doing it, using dissolve. We just saw it. So then I would click there and I would show the keyboard. Not ideal, right? So now what you can do is, with this new feature, with the overlay feature, you can really have one artboard and share it with many different artboards. So here I could say, okay, whenever I tap on that search box, I want to call the keyboard. It's going to be an overlay coming from the bottom sliding up. I will position it here, and I'll also do it on this guy. So the same, let me select that and drag it there, and this will be slide up, same thing, and I would drag it to the bottom. So again, I have one artboard being used by two different artboards. So if for some reason I'm on this artboard and I click there, I get my keyboard overlay. I can click outside to dismiss. And if for some reason I'm on this other artboard and I click there, I get the same keyboard, meaning that if I make changes to this, it will change everywhere. Let me see if I have any questions. In the meantime, there's a lot more to show. Can select two elements. All right, let's move forward here, and then I'll get back to the design questions that I'm seeing here. All right, more examples. Here I have this guy, which is almost like Uber, using the transportation UI kit. You can get lots of UI kits for free. Just go to get UI kits and more UI kits. You have access to this one. I got it from there. Here I have one artboard with scrollable area. So if you go back to design, you can see that it starts scrolling at 1812. Let me fix that. That's the height of an iPhone X. That's where the scrollable area here, where the fold starts, meaning that if I click here, I can scroll using the preview window. But now what I want to do is, whenever I tap on this guy here, on this hamburger menu, what I want is to call this overlay, and this is gonna come from the left, so slide right, and I'll position it right there. And as you can see, the overlay also has scrollable area, the fold represented there at 812. So now if I play this, I get that overlay here. Not only that, this also scrolls. And then from here, I could click on different areas here, and this will take me to other artboards, let's say home or bookings or everything that I have here. So I can start using overlays like that, even with scrollable areas. More things that you saw, for example, I'm here in prototype mode. I want to get an overlay for this. Let me get this to this keyboard. This is going to be an overlay. It's going to be a slide up. I'll position it here. This name here will also take me there. Slide up. I'll just position on the dot. So what I'm doing, as you saw before, I'm creating, like, the three artboards here are consuming the same overlay artboard here. And then later, when I tap on the from any of the guys here, if I click on this guy, I want to go to the next screen, and this could be a dissolve, right? So if I play it now, I click there, I see the keyboard, and then let's say I type it, I click on the keyboard, it takes me to that. Let's say I hit enter. If I'm on this one and I click here, it's the same thing. And if I click on this one, it's all there, and I can have the overlay scenario taking me to the next step. So that's how you would create an interaction. And maybe the last thing I can show you about overlays is that you can be a little creative. So let's say here I have this design, and what I want is, as soon as I tap on details, on this details button, I want to see this artboard on top of it as an overlay with transparency. So as you saw before, I can go to prototype, click here, go to that artboard, and this will be a slide up overlay, right? It's an overlay that slides up. But if I play this and click on details, you can see that it's already showing it there. And if I click outside, it goes there. One thing to notice here is the trick there that I had was I selected that layer and I didn't have any fill. So this was a transparent artboard. If I have a fill for some reason, that's kind of the original state, and I play this, this will show up with a fill. But again, I can go to that artboard by clicking on its title and then fill. And then if I play this again, I have this very nice effect where I have another overlay with transparency on top of it. And this works with background blur and all the special kind of overlay. Cool, so that's overlays, amazing feature now available in XD. I have a feature request here from Exxon asking for horizontal scrolling. Thank you for that. Yeah, we have that in the backlog. Stay tuned, we're doing a lot of work that will allow you to do that kind of work, and it's just a matter of time. All right, and of course you can upvote on that feature in user voice to stay to subscribe to it. I tried using overlay feature, but I understand why I could only move the artboard horizontally but not vertically, so I wasn't able to place what I wanted. Do you want a mistake? You can place the overlay as you saw. You can click there on that circle in the middle here, and you can place the overlay whatever you want. I placed it on the bottom, but again, you can place whatever you want. If you want it in the middle or on the side, you can do whatever you want there. But let me know if what you're trying to do is not that, and then we can take a look and see what we can do to fix it. Cool, let's see if we have more questions here. Let me check it. Question, is there a plan to make the Adobe Comp app integrate with XD? I may be one of the very few people that use that app. The short answer is no. We're not planning to support Comp, but there is a path, right? You can, from Comp you can take your work to Illustrator, and then from Illustrator you can copy and paste into XD, or you can use Creative Cloud libraries like I showed you in the beginning. Then you can import that work from there. So there is a way, it's not direct, but there is a way of getting the work that you did in Comp into XD. Other question, any chance for the release of internal links and scrolling features so I can prototype a single page? I already answered that. Can you prototype overlays to go back to the initial artboard? Can you prototype overlays to go back to the initial artboard? Yeah, let's say for some reason my initial artboard is it just, as soon as I tap on the keyboard, the way the overlay works is as soon as I tap outside of that overlay, it dismisses it. So it is kind of going back to the original. But if you wanted to go to another artboard, you can do what I did here. As soon as I tap on that overlay functionality, on that overlay artboard, it goes to another artboard. And that artboard could be any artboard, your initial or any other artboard that you have there. Another question, when we will get dotted and dashed border styles features in Adobe XD? The short answer for that is very soon. So as you know, today you don't have that, but very soon, maybe next week, I'll have a better answer for you regarding that topic, but very soon. All right, let's get back here. Let's check if there's Manu Rodriguez is asking when we're gonna have Mac and Windows at 100% parity. Example, exporting to Zeppelin, and we made a lot of progress there on Windows for integrations, and we're gonna have news very soon on that. So it's coming. It's very soon. And yeah, wonderful. Let's get back to the presentation here. All right, and to close the presentation here, now that we saw everything we can do with overlays, and let me know if you have other creative ways of using overlays. Now I want to spend some time showing you how you can get really creative with fixed elements. So we remember since the very beginning when we introduced prototyping features and scrollable vertical areas for scrolling there. For example, this one, where's the fold on this guy? It's right there. And then if I play this, my goal here was to have elements fixed, but this took a long time because we needed to make it work really well on mobile, on the web, on all the design spec world that's out there for the sharing piece of XD, and that's why it took long. And we wanted to do it right. We wanted to do the best way possible. So as of June, the way this works is you can select any element. Let's say I want this entire top area to stay fixed. I just select that area in design mode and I click in fixed position. That's it, super simple. Now if I have my preview window here and if I scroll, as you can see, that area stays fixed. Pretty cool, huh? I can do a lot of crazy stuff here and get to more realistic scenarios. And this is also working on mobile, so if you have your project working on running on iOS or Android, you can also see that working, and also works on the web as you share this. Perfect, but you can get more creative. Here, let's say I have this other scenario, and what I'm gonna do here is I'm gonna make this longer. I'll do like that, and I want this guy to stay fixed, I want the bottom to stay fixed, and I want the fab button to stay fixed. So you can have as many as you want. And then here I will create a repeat grid with all of my names there. And as you can see, just to show I'm not lying, this is last name. Oops. I'll do like this, and I'll do like, I will decrease the padding to give some space for the footer there. Cool. Now if I play this, everything that I set to stay fixed will stay fixed. And as you can see up there, there is transparency. I don't know if it's coming across well on the live stream, but as you can see, there is transparency there, default by the Google Material Design guidelines, and you can see it's working there. And for some reason the A is on top of it. That's cool, but let's fix that. So I can select this A and send this to the back. Now if I play, the A goes behind. Nice. Perfect. All right, so that's also there. Another thing you can do is, now let's say I'll do the same thing, but now using an iPhone X design. I'll do this, I'll make this bigger. I will fix this element. Let me select it. Let me get rid of this. Trying to select this guy here. Perfect. Demian group. And I'll say, okay, this guy needs to stay fixed. Perfect. And now this whole cell here, I'll use a repeat grid to create more elements here, and let's do that. let's not have any margin here. Let's say I'm creating a list of contexts. 0, and then I can do more. Perfect. Nice. And I also need to do the fixed element to the top part, so fixed position there. Now if I play this, as you can see, not only the top, oh I forgot this part here, so let's play this again. Not only the top part, but also that little dragger here on the bottom is fixed. But on iOS, there's a background blur taking place there, right? So if I have this rectangle and I apply a background blur effect to it, let's say it's gonna be like that. Let me move this to the top just for me to play with it. As you can see, there's a little background blur effect there. Let me get to that again. I just want to make sure I get the right effect, so that level of blur is fine. Then I can move this to the bottom again to a line right there. And now if I play this, you can see this is getting that background blur. Let me get this one is also getting the background blur for some reason. Let me remove, oh, because it's behind. Let me move this to the top, bring to the front. Let's see if that fixes it. Why is this guy also getting the blur effect? Let's see, let me send this all the way to the back. And I'll try this again. Uh-oh, there's probably something wrong here. Let me try one more thing and then I'll stop. I'll cut and I'll paste on top. I probably found a bug. Alright, let me ungroup this. And this is not, it has to be fixed. Do one more try. I'll send this all the way to the back. Then this all the way to the back as well. Yeah, it's probably a bug. Alright, but you get the idea, right? You can get that behavior right there where things get blurry behind it. Awesome. Alright, I just found a bug live, or maybe I'm doing something wrong, but that's the good thing about trying new things. You always find, and as you remember, every month there's a new update, and for sure we're gonna work on that. Alright, cool. Now let's talk about this scenario for a website. As you know, when you design a website, you can have your layout grid there helping you to design. It could also be a square grid with your columns and stuff. But if I don't do anything and if I play this, as you can see, the top bar, the top bar stays with the scrolling scenario here and it goes up, but I want it to stay fixed, and that guy has a background blur applied to it. So here what I can do is select the entire bar and tell it to stay fixed, and that's it. So now it will stay fixed and the background blur is rendered in real time. So this is fully working on the web, on the mobile version. If you have that running on your tablet or iOS or Android, it will work as well. Pretty cool, huh? And the last thing is you can play with the order of your fixed element here. You can say, I want this guy here to stay fixed, and also the top bottom. But then this one, it's in the front. So this is on top of it. So if I scroll and I have fixed things, this will go on top of it. And look what kind of effect you can get when you do that. So it's almost like hiding it and revealing it. So very, very cool, and you can achieve great. Oh, I forgot the trailer to stay fixed as well. Let me get to it. Oops. Oh, it's the order. It is fixed, but the order. So let's select this guy and this and the picture and make sure they're all the way back. And the picture is sent to the back. Perfect. Now it will hide that, as you can see here. I would need another big, because it's white. What I can do here is create a rectangle. Let's say around here. No border, and I'll send this to the back. So if I scroll now, it will hide that watch trailer button as well, and everything else, because it's on top of it. So you can achieve pretty cool results here with fixed elements. So that's everything I wanted to show today. Overlays and fixed elements. You can get really creative, and if you have suggestions or new ways of playing with this, please share with us. This is a great and awesome. All right, I still see highs here. Pretty cool. Some ideas. Thanks, Mike. I'm glad you like it. XD going amazing. Onward. Awesome. That's great to hear, guys. Is it possible? Raphael was asking if we can use computed properties when scrolling. Like I assume with variables, not yet, but very soon we're gonna. I think one thing that I'm really excited about is that very soon we're gonna open up XD for plugins. So anyone that knows JavaScript will be able to develop plugins for XD, and then you could extend all of these, and I'm sure we're gonna see so many amazing plugins. And we even announced a $10 million fund that will help plugin developers to bring their ideas to life. And Kayla, that's on Adobe, can post a link to the details of that if you wanna apply for that fund. It's really there to help you guys create this amazing community. We know that we cannot do everything, right? There's always a very specific use case, and we believe that plugins will help with that. All right, so let me see if I don't have any other questions. That's all I wanted to show today. So we are good here. We are good here. And yeah, so that's all I wanted to show, guys. We have we just showed overlays and fixed elements, and you can see that on I can probably post the file here, but you can access the UI kits. You can use the Apple one, the Google Material one, the Microsoft one, and apply the fixed elements and even overlays to get amazing results in your prototypes. Then share, get all that feedback, and iterate before it gets to a developer, right? Once it's validated and all that, then you can create a design spec as a link, and then the developer can make that happen. Cool. So that's everything I wanted to show. If you liked it, give us a like here, please. And we're going to be back next Monday at 11 a.m. Pacific time. In the meantime, if you have questions, you can go to user voice or ping us on Twitter using hashtag AdobeXD. And chances are one person from the XD team. We're really heavy on Twitter and social media, and we're going to reply and get back to you. So that's everything I wanted to show. Overlays, fixed elements, opening Photoshop files, answering questions about roadmap, and I hope you liked it and hope to see you next week. Thanks, guys. See you.